Hello everyone. So in this video we'll make a asteroid shooting game. So this is a very simple game, like nothing complex. So the goal here is like to showcase like how kids can learn programming with CodeSkool and can make like really fun and interactive game. So this is like a very basic game. So you can like create a much complex, much large scale games with CodeSkool, but this is like to showcase how you can use various CodeSkool features to create um fun and engaging games, and at the same time learn programming, learn coding using CodeSkool. So the first thing I've done is like I've went into that SVG repo site and I've searched for some spaceship. So let me just download this vector. Similarly, like I'll search for asteroid images and I'll download like few asteroid images. And on Pixabay, like I've gone in, like I'll use this collision sound, so I'll just download this. Similarly, I'll download a blast.gif, like I'll just save images. So you can search like on Google blast gif and like you can figure it out like which image you would require. And on Pixabay, like I've downloaded this galaxy video, kind of like background video. So this also I've downloaded. So now like you have all the resources, like I'll just go and upload. So first I'll remove this, then I'll select upload sprite. Then I'll use my this spaceship. So this need to be at 45 degree so that it point right. And I'll reduce the size to, let's say, 50. Yeah, 50 looks good. Similarly, like I'll upload the other sprites. And let me upload that GIF also. So I'll hide this blast GIF and let me go to spaceship sound and I'll upload that collision sound also. So this is very large sound. So what I'll do is I'll cut it. So I'll reduce it. Just delete this section. Let me play and see like, so this looks still too big to me. So I'll just cut it more. So after cutting, like the termination sound will not be nice, but that's okay. So now this is like short and like good for like our collision. So we have all that resources, spaceship, three different asteroid, that blast animation and that collision sound. So let's just try programming. So in the variables, let me delete this. Let me create two variables. So one is like one is like shield strength, and let me create another. So this would be like time traveled. So now I have like both the variables. So let me go into like this would be our first block, and let me reset both this. Then let me use the timer also. So I'll reset the timer also. And let me add the video extension. And let me add that games 2D physics extension. So now like on arrow keys movement, I have to move this spaceship. So I'll go into the events, and like when, yeah, this one. So I'll drag this few times, and like when up arrow, when down arrow, when left arrow, and when right arrow. So now I have to change the X position. So this would change the X position, and for Y position I'll use this. So on down arrow, like I'll make it -5, this +5, this -5, this +5. So let me just move these blocks away. And let me put a forever loop here. So first let's just test this. So like when I move, use the arrow keys, like this spaceship will move in the space. So another thing we have to do is like in the video player, go into the video player and upload that video. So this was the video. So if you play, like it would give that animation effect. So let me just stop it for the time being and clear it. Now I need a forever loop also, like, so I'll just add that loop, and we'll go into this asteroids. So for this asteroid falling effect, what I'll do is like I'll use that 2D physics engine. So this would be the engine update in a forever loop. When this flag is clicked, now I have to create a variable also. So I'll create a local variable for this sprite only. Name it asteroid. Like for clarity, I'll give like asteroid 1. Similarly, I'll go here and like create a variable asteroid 2 for this sprite only. And for this, I'll create a asteroid 3 for this sprite only. And same thing will apply for everything. Like, so in the variables, like, so asteroid 1 is basically a virtual object, which is basically a circle. Let me say like this is like -45 and -45 and like -5, so around 40 width. So radius would be like 20 maybe, and its position is like this object position. So this is asteroid 1, so this position would be like, now I have created this virtual object which is asteroid 1. So I have to add this object to the physics engine. So I'll add this physics engine is basically a kind of like your virtual world. So in that virtual world, I'll add that object, circular object which I have created. And like I want that thing to fall, so it's not a static object. So I'll remove that static property as false. So now what will happen, like if I click this, this object will fall, but this is a virtual object. So we need to like get the position of this virtual object and update our object on the stage, update our graphics drawing on the stage. So what I'll do is I'll use this go to block and like I'll get the position from here. And the object is asteroid 1. And let me give some delay also, like I don't want the engine to be updated like so fast, so I'll just give a delay of like 0.1 second. So now what will happen is like let me remove all these variables. So now what will happen is like I'm creating a virtual object and adding it to that virtual world, and I'm marking that object is not static. So I created an object and placed it in the world, virtual world, physics world, but that object is not static, so it will fall. And in a forever loop, I'm like getting that position of that falling object and updating my real object on that stage. So I'll call that engine update to every time like update the internals of the physics engine to calculate the new position of this virtual asteroid 1 object. And I have just give some delay. So if I like just add it here and like just run it, so this virtual object will fall. Now like I have to check if its position is like less than this, then I have to like hide it and like again make it reappear from the top. So I'll use a if block. And I use that less than block. Let me just search, it's easier. So if the asteroid position y position is less than minus 180, so if you remember, like the coordinates are like minus 180 to plus 180 minus 240 to plus 240. So if the y position is less than like minus 180, I have to like make it disappear. So I'll use that effect block and use the ghost block, and then I'll use that clear graphics image, graphic effects, and like use that hide block. And I have to run this ghost effect multiple times, so I'll use a repeat block. And here I'll give it delay 0.1. So this will like slowly fade that asteroid, and then I'll hide it, and then it would clear all that graphics effect which we had applied on that object. Now again I have to wait for some time. So I'll use random, so that like once this object is like hidden, like immediately it will not appear it. So it should appear like after like some random time delay, like 1 second or 2 second from the top. And like after that I'll say show, but again I have to update the position of that virtual asteroid also. So the y position will become 180 at the top, and because we are updating the virtual object, so like in the next time like this loop will run, it will automatically update the real object also. Or maybe like I should use this show here, but anyway it doesn't matter, it would be much faster anyway. So but this x position I want it to be random, like I want it to appear like somewhere near this spaceship X. So if like my spaceship is here, I want my asteroid to appear here or here, not like very far away. So I want like spaceship, based on spaceship position, I want this asteroid to appear, but I don't want it to be exactly in center. I want it to appear like somewhat random, like here or here, but not like very far away. So like I want all the asteroid to be in the path of this spaceship. So first of all, like I think I have to get that position of this spaceship. So in this forever loop, like I'll create another variable like I'll say x of spaceship, and then I'll say y of spaceship. now I'll set that X to be X position. And I have to hide this also. So now I have the position of this spaceship. So I'll use that here. So I'll use another random. I'll use the addition operator. So X position, just like change it to like, let's say -100 to +100. So it will give you a value like between -100 to +100, a random value, which I'll add it to this spaceship. So now my asteroid like will take this position and like add or subtract like -81 or like +29, and it would appear it here on the top. Let me just remove this engine update delay to make it faster. So let's review this code. Like, so on this green flag click, like I'm creating a virtual object, adding it to that physics engine, marking it as non-static, so like it would do a free fall. Then I'm like updating my position of this sprite by getting the position of that virtual object. And if my virtual object is below this -180, then like I'm slowly fading it away and making it reappear after a delay. And I am updating my position of that asteroid after some delay at the top 180, and that it would appear anywhere like above the position of this spaceship from -100 to +100. Anywhere between this region it would appear at the top. So I'll add my delay just after like it has updated the position of the asteroid on the canvas. So the same thing I'll do it for all that other two asteroid also. So let me just copy these blocks and paste it here, and I'll change it to asteroid 2. In the variable I'll delete that asteroid 1. So let's review this, like this asteroid 2 position. Asteroid 2, add it to world, mark it as non-static free fall, then updating the position of this asteroid 2 based on that virtual asteroid 2 object. I think looks okay. Let's just do it for this also. So make it asteroid 3 everywhere. Now you can use the same name also like asteroid for all the three, but I want it to be more clear, so I'm using like different names, but that is not required. So again, like I'm creating another temporary object which is a circle and adding it to that virtual physics engine, and like getting the position from that object from that physics engine and updating the real asteroid on that canvas. And again the same logic applies here also. So one more thing, like here, like I have to play this video and like I have to enable this loop. So when I click this flag, like it would start playing the video, and like the video will be played in a loop. And I had already uploaded my video. Another thing is like we don't need to update the spaceship X position in a forever loop. We can simply like update it like whenever we change it. Now the asteroids are falling. I need to check in the forever loop if it is touching, the spaceship is touching the asteroid. So if it is touching the asteroid, I need to reduce the shield strength. So I'll use that if statement, and in the sensing touching, so I have three actually sprites, so I have to check for everything, and I have to use that OR operator. So if it is touching the asteroid 1, or if it is touching the asteroid 2, or if it is touching the asteroid 3, like if any of the condition is true, then I'll change the shield strength by -5, and this need to be done in a forever loop. And like if it is touching, I have to start that collision sound also. And I can also update like time travel in the forever loop based on the timer. Now like in the forever loop, I'm updating the timer, and like I'm checking if there is a collision. I'll start that collision sound and like reduce the shield strength by 5. Now I have to also check like if the shield strength has become 0, then I have to just stop that game and like create that blast effect. So I'll use again the if block, maybe here. Or maybe like we only need to check like if we had reduced the shield strength. So let me add a delay here like 0.1 second. So like if the shield strength is reduced, and now like if the shield strength is less than 0, less than or equal to 0, I'll use this 0, and from the variable like I'll check like the shield strength is 0. Then I broadcast a event for this blast to appear. I'll like name it to like explosion. And here like when I receive that event explosion, I'll just show it. And like I'll switch to the first costume, then I'll repeat like 19 times and switch to the next costume. So like I have 19 costumes, so I'll repeat it 19 times. And I'll like wait for some time like after switching each costume. And like when this green flag is clicked, like I'll just hide it. So like initially like it should be hidden. And like first costume should be the blast. And when I receive this explosion, like I'll just show it and repeat 19 times the next costume. So like this would give this effect. And like when I click the green flag, that explosion is hidden. I'll also set the timer here like uh, so like when I receive explosion, like I just set the time travel once again like to whatever like the current time is. And also I need to like move my explosion to the position of the spaceship. So like it should not appear here, it should appear on top of this. So I have to like use this go to, and I can use this go to X spaceship and Y spaceship. So it would, the explosion would exactly appear on top of this. And the Y is not set currently, so that's okay. Now like after that last frame, like I have to hide this one, maybe like 18. So the first frame is already visible, so I have to hide this last frame. And like the program is already finished, so I'll just use this top all. And I'll pause the video also. Doesn't make sense. for the background animation to be running. So I'll just pause the video also and hide that explosion last frame and like stop everything. Now, whenever the explosion is happening, like before broadcasting, we have to update that Y position also. So the variables, like I can go and say like Y spaceship equal to Y position. And like after setting that Y position, I can broadcast the explosion. And after broadcasting, I have to like hide this spaceship also. So I'll use the same like repeat 10 times. Change ghost effect by 10 and then um, every time I'll increase it, I'll wait for like 0.1 second and then I can say height. After this repeat loop and like clear all the effect after the height. I think we had used it here also. So here also I have to use like change ghost effect by 10. So we don't have to set just 10, like we have to increase every time like so ghost effect is basically like let me just show. So if the ghost effect is like let me bring this. So this is the asteroid. So if I set the ghost effect to 0, like nothing will happen. But if I set the ghost effect by 50, it would become lighter. And if I set the ghost effect to like 100, it would completely disappear. So like I am not setting it here, so like it is already hidden, so I am just increasing it. So if I set the ghost effect by 10, it would, let's say I'm setting it 0, it would visible. So if I change it to 10, it would remain 10 every time I run it. So I have to actually increase it by 10 every time. So that's what I'm doing it here. Same thing here. So ghost effect by 10 every time, I'll increase it from 0 to 100 10 times. And on 100 it would disappear. So when this spaceship is touching this asteroid, I'll start that collision sound, reduce the shield strength by -5, wait for like 0.1 second, and if the shield strength is like less than 0, like the shield is completely damaged, I'll set the Y spaceship to the Y position of this spacecraft, so that like when I'll start the blast, it would exactly appear on top of this spaceship, and I'll broadcast this explosion. And like after broadcasting, I'm like changing the ghost effect by 10 every time to make it hide. And like once it is like completely hidden, I am like clearing all graphics effect, and before clearing all graphic effect, I'm just hiding it. Now like when I click this green flag, I need to show it also, so I'll just say show. And maybe like clear all graphics effect if there was any. So I think our program is ready. Like when I click this flag, it would show this thing. Same thing, like I'll just add the show to every other block. And this need to be hidden. The time travel is set to 0 and shield strength was set to 100. I'll just start the video and make it like play in a loop, reset the timer, and then like in a forever loop, I'll update the time travel. And in the if block, I'll check like if it is spaceship is touching any of this asteroid, I'll reduce the shield strength by -5. And if the shield strength has gone like below 0 or like 0, I'll just start that explosion animation and like hide this spaceship. So I don't think I need. Okay, let me, because this is here, like let me remove it from here. Now let's just play this thing and see like how it works. So you can adjust like the delays and like how much on like arrow key movement you want that spaceship to travel, and you can like change like how much the shield strength need to be reduced. So those things like you can configure it as per your requirement. You can reduce the size of that asteroids and all those things. So you can see like there is a explosion like after that spaceship is like touched by that, and the explosion will appear exactly on top of this spaceship, and the asteroids are like falling in the vicinity of the spaceship, not exactly on top. And the shield strength becomes zero, and like the time travel like becomes like 41 second, and the video is already paused and everything gets stopped like. So you can like take it one step further, like you can add like just another sprite and like say like text and this thing, animated text, and like you can say. So this position I'll set it to 0, and I can configure this position as per my requirement. So let just show in the center, and like once it is shown, like I'll just hide it, and before that I just show it, and maybe wait for like 1 second, and then stop everything. And in the blast, like I'll remove this topol and say broadcast show score. And you can create like multiplayer games also, like uh, you can use like MQTT to like send the score to some remote server, and like you can fetch that score and like can find out who is as the maximum thing, or like you can use WebSocket or something, but will not go into multiplayer video, but we'll not go into how to create multiplayer games in this tutorial. The objective is not that. So like once it has paused the video, it will broadcast like show score, and like this would show it, and like let me just add here also, like when I click this green flag, I want it to be hidden. And then when I receive the show score, I'll just show it, and like I'll just show whatever the score. So I hope you had learned something from this video, like how you can create games in CodeSkool easily with like different blocks, different extension. CodeSkool has like so many different extension for different requirement. So you can like combine those different blocks to create like some amazing games, and you can like learn programming on the way. So I hope you like this video. Thanks for watching.